Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about another business presentation slide, learning from other top consulting companies, what they do well, what they don't do so well. I think is a great activity to improve our own presentations. And I've always liked to look at other examples, learning from other best practices, because I don't think there is a great academic view of presentations and slides. But by learning from other top presenters, you can improve your own presentations. And that's what I'm trying to do here for myself as well as for you. My name is Felix. I'm a former manager at Bain Company, where I spent several years creating presentations for internal purposes, but also externally for a variety of clients. And I've seen so many different types of presentations, and I still enjoy making presentations and presenting them, which is why I'm doing this video. And I hope you will learn something from it as well. Here I'm looking at a presentation slide by Deloitte, which I found on their website. And I want to start with a few observations, things that I think they do well here. And then I think we're going to go into a couple of the specifics that I want to point out here where I think they could have improved the slide. Number one, I like it's a very simple slide. It's already within 3 seconds. It's pretty clear how this slide is structured. There is a action title at the top. Here, the bold piece, share of workers reporting difficulties to adapt to at least one change by a company's culture. Then there are 2 charts here with a statement at the top of them. If you've seen a lot of slides, if you've done surveys, you know this is based on a survey question or statement where the survey respondents could agree with the sentence, neutral or disagree, which I think is a very simple way of presenting this. And I always like it when you look at a slide and within 3 to 5 seconds, you get a sense of where the key messages are and how this slide is structured. And I think they did a good job here. In addition to mentioning the source at the bottom, the survey, and the bottom right, there, the company, Deloitte. So it's a pretty simple, clean slide. What I also like, and if you've seen some of my other videos, I always like when presentations have an action title with the key message at the top. This one is a little bit of an action title, but not all the way. I don't think it's a good statement or insight. What they're saying here is share of workers reporting difficulties. They're saying basically what you're seeing on the chart, but they're not telling you the message. It's unclear what the message is here. Is the message that workers have difficulties adapting? Or is it the message that they don't, that they're pretty resilient? It's unclear from this action title, which is, I think, another step they could have done to make this even more powerful. Like I said, I like that it's simple, but I think there are a few things suboptimal here on this slide or on this specific chart. Starting number 1, the sentences are quite long here. The first one, in my work environment, I have a clear understanding of what is expected of me. I decide autonomously. It's a lot of sentences in that one sentence where it's a little harder to understand. I think it would be nice if it was like just one simple statement. And if you use or show such a long sentence, I think it's nicer to use selective bolding, highlighting specific points that are important to remember here. My bigger pet peeve here with this chart is I'm unclear what the total is, the total of the bar's width. So the green bar here is 51%, and then to the right, the gray part it looks like it might be maybe 9%, so maybe the total is 60%. So that is very irritating to me. I'm not sure what this gray part means here, and if it is 60%, I mean, it has to be at least more than 50%, since we have 51% here in the green. So if this is 60%, so we're basically saying the total bar here is 60% of each of them. So then we would have 120%, which doesn't really make sense. And since it's percentages of respondents, this is very, I think, misleading and not a good usage of like visual representation of the numbers. But in this case, I would definitely kill the gray bars here because I don't think the gray part here to the total means anything. And so I think this is, to be honest, a little bit disappointing and misleading of what the totals are here and how to actually read these numbers. Like, are they saying 51% of all respondents selected this? and then 36% of all respondents, then I think I want to make sure that I get to 100% and know what the third one is. The other option, and I always like that, if it's an either or selection, using a 100% stacked bar or stacked column, where you basically have 100% here at the right, and then you see the components. Then you can say, okay, 36% maybe up to here is agree with the sentence, then neutral disagree is all the way up to here, 50%, and the remainder is didn't respond, or like what the third option is. That way it's an accurate representation of the data. I feel like this is a little bit misleading here. The same with the chart below. What I like is that they use the same scale here. You can see 36% is here, 37, a little bit more here, 46, 51. So it looks like at least they use the same scale. Sometimes when people create separate charts, the scales are different, and then it's very misleading when you see 37% is all the way over here, 36 over here, then the relative differences don't really make sense. So I think those are, I would say, the areas, the observations that I think are suboptimal. I think they're actually quite misleading, and I think they should have probably done a better job here, since that's basically what they do, is doing surveys a lot. A lot of the research that they publish on the website is based on surveys, and I think with surveys you have to make sure that you accurately represent the data. Another thing that's they could have improved is mentioning the end of the survey. They probably did it somewhere in the article, so it's fine not having it on every page. But since I'm just looking at this page, I would love to know what the end is. How many people did they actually interview? Are we talking about 10? Are we talking about 10,000, 50,000 people? That makes a big difference when you put these numbers in here, because obviously if you only ask 10 or 20 people, it's not as representative. Visually, I think this sentence, they didn't have to cut it off here. I think it would be nicer if they went all the way till the end here of the bar width. That way maybe this would have been in only 2 lines. The same here. I don't know why they cut it off here like 2/3 of the way. Not sure, but I don't think it's the best way of showing this. And there's some like visual discrepancies, or where here the green part covers over the end, but I don't think that's too important. So those are a few of my initial observations. I think the takeaway here is simple slide, good. The action title, I like that they use an action title, that it's a simple slide. It's easy to understand what they're showing here, but the way they portray the numbers here with the width and the total of the width of the bar, I think is misleading. And it's always important when you show data to have an accurate representation of the data and don't distort the way you show it. I think that's one of the principles you always should adhere to in a professional setting. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts in the comment section, and I hope to see you in the next video.